Amongst all the triggers that massively impact a narcissist and shatter their ego for a moment, sounds are on the top of the list. There are certain sounds which, when a narcissist listens to, they fall apart. They lose it and give big reactions, throw tantrums, and rage. These sounds can trigger you and me as well, but the reason behind them getting triggered is entirely different, which is what we are going to talk about in this episode. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. The topic is very interesting. We are going to explore 5 sounds that trigger a narcissist massively. A big disclaimer before I get started. The sounds that I will be talking about can trigger any survivor of complex trauma. Just because you find one of these sounds triggering does not necessarily mean you are a narcissist. Do not jump to that conclusion. That's not the point I'm trying to make. What sets you apart from the narcissist is the reason why you're getting triggered. You will understand it more. Stay until the very end. Sound number 1, a deep sigh. The sound of someone sighing in exasperation really puts a narcissist on edge. Why? Well, they perceive it as a complaint. See, in a narcissistic relationship, be it with a parent, partner, or somebody else, there is no space whatsoever for your emotions. You're expected to swallow it down. You're expected to keep your emotions, your feelings suppressed deep within. You cannot open your mouth. You have to zip your lips. The minute you do so, they will perceive it as criticism. Because there is no such thing as feedback in a narcissistic relationship. You can't tell them how to improve. You can't show them their mistakes because they're already perfect. If there is anything wrong, it must be your fault. That is how they think. That's why they are so delusional. Now, out of absolute helplessness, you may take a deep sigh sometimes. And even that sigh is highly scrutinized and judged by that narcissist. Or how come? How come you took a sigh? That must mean you are thinking negatively about me. They would want to put a camera inside your head and monitor your thoughts, make sure you're thinking as per the guidelines given by your God, that narcissist in this context. They would want to really make sure your emotions are in line. You're thinking positively about them. That's how paranoid they are about their image. They can get triggered when you take a deep sigh because it reminds them of how big a failure they are and how much they have wronged you. They do not want to acknowledge that. So they rage at you. They take all that anger out on you. Number 2, when a baby is crying. See, a narcissist wants to be in a relationship and claim the motherhood or fatherhood as long as they are able to extract supply through that association. They want to use your child as a trophy. That's why they like to be a Disneyland dad, a Disneyland mom, and they would want to go to the water parks and enjoy and only spend those moments when your children are happy, they are able to interact, and you're able to sit with them. But when it comes to the tough times, which unfortunately is most of the time when raising children, they do not want to be involved. Your child is crying. Instead of attending to that child's needs, they would want you to somehow shut that child down. I've seen it happening. I've experienced it personally. They would want you to just get rid of that baby and go sit in another room. This baby is becoming a nuisance. That's how deeply disconnected they are with their own child. They have zero empathy. Any parent would come running and make sure their child is okay, that baby is okay, and would want to know why. What is the reason behind this cry? No, a narcissist would run away. Now, I understand a baby crying can be triggering to all those survivors of trauma who are sound sensitive, okay, who cannot take it. That does not make you a narcissist. It does not mean you do not have empathy. It means it's extremely overwhelming. It reminds you something of your past, or it's because of your extremely hyper-aroused nervous system that you can't process that information and be relaxed at the same time. That's why I told you there is a big difference between the intentions. A narcissist gets triggered when a baby is crying because they do not want to put up with it. They see it as a nuisance. They have zero empathy. If you get triggered, it's because you are traumatized, and this is a trauma reaction. Number 3, when your children, or somebody else is laughing around them, there are many reasons. The first reason, my personal experience with my covert narcissistic mother, they're extremely insecure. If they see somebody laughing, without knowing why they're laughing, they personalize it and think, I must have done something. I must look foolish, or they must be laughing at me. Probably it's their trauma. Other trauma survivors may feel the same, but a narcissist reacts differently. Almost instantly, they will take away the color and vacuum their happiness in, and there will be this sadness looming over everybody without knowing what just happened. The second reason is that narcissist is jealous of your happiness. They can't stand it. They're a miserable human being. Their inner environment must match their outer environment. If they're sad, if they're anxious, if they feel bad, if they feel mad, everybody is supposed to feel that way. This is called a narcissist's need for mood synchronity. Your mood should be in sync with the narcissist. That's how they maintain the equilibrium. Their arrogance, their entitlement, and their grandiosity, all of these things get hurt. When in their presence, expectation is you must be serious, like my grandfather was, my father was. You must be like stone-like. Do not move, do not express anything, obey the commands, listen to them, let them talk. If you become bubbly, happy, childish, which you were supposed to be back then, you would get punished, physically assaulted. That's what they did. My father would threaten me. If I do not stop laughing, he will give me a big reason to cry. That's how it was. Have you experienced something like this? Let me know in the comments. Number 4, the sound of their own voice. Now, this is a pretty common thing. Most people do not like to hear their recorded voice. It's a natural phenomenon. Like, I did not like to hear my voice when I recorded these episodes in the beginning. That's different. When we're talking about a narcissist not liking their voice, we're talking about them not feeling vulnerable or wanting to feel vulnerable. Their voice sounds different to them. It's almost like sound dysmorphia. Of course, they'll make it seem like, oh, they sound really manly if it is a male narcissist. Or if it is a female narcissist, she'll say, oh, I'm calm, composed, and I sound empowered. But deep down, they'll hear a squeaky man, somebody who just blabbering stuff or just talking nonsense, and it's so unmanly. They won't say it, but deep down, they will feel it, experience it as a sensation. So they may run away from their own voice. They do a similar thing. They hide their eyes. You might have noticed it. There are many narcissists online. For example, Andrew Tate. He wears those sunglasses even when on camera. What is the reason? A lot of shame in here. They do not want others to see what they're doing with their eyes, and they need to keep them hidden because they want to create unpredictability. You wouldn't know where they're looking, and that's how they attack. Number 5 and the last one, silence during a conversation. Let me put it as it is. All survivors of complex trauma alike get triggered by it. I would get triggered by it. Why? Because that would mean uncertainty. I needed to know what's going on. I needed to keep it going, or else I would perceive it as a threat. Oh, I'm disappointing the person sitting in front of me. Or what's going on? I mean, am I going to get attacked? What does this silence mean? But when a narcissist gets triggered by a similar form of silence, they feel exposed. That's what it is. They do not like the silence because peace, they don't want to sit with it. The minute there is silence all around, their negative stuff, the darkness within starts coming up, and they start to feel it, taste it, smell it, hear it. That is overwhelming. It's a blanket feeling. And almost quite instantly, they'll go on. They'll just talk nonsense. It's gibberish. It's just, nothing, no point in it. But they'll talk. Why do they need to keep talking sometimes? because they can't stand silence. And the thing is, they won't let you talk with a normal trauma survivor, somebody who is a complex trauma survivor. It doesn't matter. Either they'll talk, or most of the times they will want you to talk. They'll want to listen. But a narcissist, a grandiose one, will always want the microphone. They need to keep filling the silence. That is my observation as well. What have you experienced? Let me know in the comments. And let me know if you found this topic interesting and unique. I'll talk to you in the next one. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much. Let the healing begin and continue.